It's me. Once again, my name is Aisha Yusufu. It's a pleasure being with you here today. So the normal format would be for us to go through Zoom. I just decided to take on this format today and be able to have guests come in and have a conversation. One of the things that I realized with Zoom that seems a bit more complicated for people to join. People aren't able to join, and then you find a lot of people here who want to have a conversation, but unfortunately they are not able to have a conversation. Today's topic basically is just to ask, uh, is on the issue of the Supreme Court and the fact that there's no judgment that has been given yet on the case of Mr. Peter Obi's presidential matter, and also the Labour Party's presidential issue. And the certified true copy of the judge hasn't been given. So first of all, there's no judgment. So you expect maybe they didn't say it in court, or maybe they didn't have enough time, or they just were tired, whatever it is. But then you wait for the certified copy, which is to say this is what the real judgment, just like what we saw in Kano, where a judgment had been given, and then when the certified true copy came out, it was actually different from the judgment that had been read out in the court. And the court will now ask that, oh, they should return that whole certified true copy. A whole lot of scandal has been going on in the Nigerian judiciary. And so that's one of the conversations that we're having. And the good thing about today, why I'm using this feature directly on YouTube today, is that you can also join the conversation. Let's also hear your own take on the conversation and what it is. Just to digress a little bit, is to say that I was thinking of saying, why don't I talk on this whole issue of this Dubai trip? The right now the imposter we have in office, the person who is already sort of just taking Nigeria thousands of years backward, because I can't even just understand what's going on, has packed this whole entourage to Dubai, and just recklessly spending the people's money. And citizens are just sitting down looking, and it's just to say all of these things. So I was thinking of doing that, like, no, this is a topic that I'd initially, wanted to focus on. So let's have this conversation. So if you're able to do kindly join. Hello, Victory. So if you, I can't, can you just put in what you're referring to so that I have an understanding? We've seen a situation whereby the Supreme Court, the Nigerian judiciary has just thrown every caution into the wind, and it's almost as if it has reached a place where it's really shameless. It doesn't care about whatever anybody thinks. There's a place where you're doing, even when you're corrupt, you sort of like have a sense of shame, and you try to do it in such a way that whatever you're doing, it's not very obvious. You still try to maintain a facade of decency, of integrity, of doing the right thing, and all of that. But in this case, it's as if the Nigerian judiciary has absolutely thrown everything into the winds, and it doesn't care. And even the politicians are also uh, flaunting the fact that they control the judiciary, flaunting the fact that they have the judiciary where they want them to be, they have them in the back, they spot them, they own them, they do whatever they want to do with the judiciary. And it's something that has really, just shown the nation how rotten the whole thing is. Because I just feel as a judge, the power that the judiciary has is unbelievable. You understand? On this earth, the judiciary is one place. Judges have the power of life and death, as in they can sentence somebody to death, and it's legal. You understand? Somebody commits certain crime, a judge can sit down and sentenced somebody to death. And then with someone that has such power, being in such a situation whereby the person can be corrupted by money, by whatever, by position, by whatever it is, that the person can be bribed. For me, is just such, it's something I can't even fathom, because I just feel with all of these powers that you have and you can be put through in such a way, it's crazy. But anyway, today's topic is basically just for us to discuss. Please feel free to join. You can also join as a guest. And also, they keep telling me that I don't always say anything. Hit the like button if you're already here. Hit the like button. You can share. Let's have other people join us and let's have more conversation. I mean, when there are more people, we have more perspective. I mean, the conversation usually is more robust. So please feel free to just join it. Feel free to come in and let's hear your own take. One of the things that the petition of Mr. Peter Obi uh, was all about was on the issue of for future, right? And nothing has been said about that. Nothing from that whole issue. So there seems to be like a silence, on that whole issue. So there's forfeiture to say, does forfeiture now equate to like a crime has taken place? Is that also? I'm trying to just look at something here. And one of the most interesting things is the fact that the present CJN, right, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, ruled in 2014 that forfeiture means the loss of a right, privilege, or property because of a crime. And so that means, like this person who tweeted this, that means Bola Tinubu committed a crime since he forfeited 460,000 US dollars of drug money to the US government. So somebody is just doing that analysis based here. So you find out that the same issue that has been done before. So they're skirting it. They're not saying anything. They're not doing anything. They're not putting anything, out there. So it's just like, oh, okay, let there be this silence, and then everything not being said. It's almost as if the Supreme Court is ashamed, if it has any shame left in it, it's ashamed of its judgment. And so because of that, what they're doing is that they don't want it to be on record. So if there's no certified true copy, right, you can't come tomorrow, you can't come and say this is what you said. You can't come and say, there can't even be a precedent. You can't say, okay, this is what the court ruled on this. So because there's no judgment. And then how would there not be a judgment on that issue? These are the crazy things, honestly, that we really need to just sort of like take this on and have this conversation. So feel free to come in. You can have your we can hear your opinion here. You can join. So I think there's a future. I don't know how the future works, but I have enabled it for people to be able to join. And so please kindly do that while we continue to have this conversation. I've had a lot of people who have, sort of like keep talking about the fact that, yes, we want you. You shouldn't have Peter Obi shouldn't have gone to the to the judiciary. There's nothing that is going to come out of it. Hello, Emmanuel. Good evening. Thank you so much for your kind words. Well done. And so there are a lot of people who have been saying that, oh, we shouldn't have gone to court. You shouldn't have done this and done that. And the thing is that, when slavery was happening, let me use the United States for example. I'm sure there are a lot of people who told Harriet Tubman that, oh, there was no need for her to try and escape with slaves or try to get their freedom. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who said, oh, it won't work. There's no need of trying to get your freedom and all of that. But these things, and I keep saying these things, one of the things that really uh, it's most devastating is when people give up on themselves, when they self defeat. It is one thing for people to defeat you. It's another thing for you to self-defeat, for you to allow yourself to be defeated. And that's what a lot of people do when you always talk about the fact that, oh, don't do this, there's no need, don't go out. Yes, there's a need. He has gone it. We've seen how corrupt the system is. We've seen how corrupt the judiciary is. And you just want to just sit there, then you'll just be waltzing in and just be getting in there doing what they want to do. No, that's what they want. And we will not allow that to happen. Ajodo Onuche said, aside speaking to power, what other power does citizens have? We've tried through exercise, we've tried to exercise our civic responsibility through voting. Hello. I totally understand with you, Jojo. And please, you can also join the conversation. You can also come in and speak on this. I totally understand where you're coming from when you say, "Oh, what power does the citizens have?" The citizens have a lot of power. The fact that citizens did NSAS and the NSAS didn't go the way. ENSA wasn't a failure, by the way. Yes, the government brought out its violence and all of that, but there were a lot of things that went on to be achieved with that exam. It brought a lot of awareness, which was the political awareness that we saw in 2023, right? And then somebody might say that what's the essence of that political awareness since the election was rigged and all of that. But one of the things that has also come out of that is the fact that, if citizens come together and do and put their heads together, they can actually control who gets into power. They can actually, when it comes to legally, not the issue of violence, not the issue of rigging. And we've also seen that all of these politicians, they don't have anything. So the citizens are not helpless. The fact that NSAS went that way doesn't mean that, oh, people can come out and, and do that also. But the thing also is that the citizens must be ready to come out, not only a few people coming out on behalf of everybody, because that's what we've had all this time. What we usually have in Nigeria is that many citizens don't want to do anything. They just want to sit back and pray to God, or they are waiting for some people to be the ones to do it on their behalf. You understand? So that's the problem we've had all this while. There are a lot of people, and we have the biggest issue that we have, honestly, is religion. It's religion. The churches, the mosques, the shrines, the whatever, they have kept people enslaved. It's as simple as that. They are using it to keep people enslaved. I've said this thing before, I'm going to say it again. The political rulers and the religious rulers, they are in a symbiotic relationship. They like what is happening in Nigeria. For the political rulers, of course, it gives them opportunity for them to do whatever they want to do. I mean, see Chief Bola Tinubu going to Dubai with so much entourage. Look at the people that are being said to be on that list that have gone to Dubai, doing all sorts of things, right? And so they get that. Then the religious rulers, on the other hand, they are able to sell cheap popularity, cheap miracles. That's what they do. They come and tell you that, oh, getting a job, getting a visa is miracle. Come and pray, come and pay this tithe, come and give this sadaka, come and do this. And let me tell you something, both are controlled. When I see people talk about, oh, it's only in the northern part of Nigeria that religion is, all parts of Nigeria, religion is being used to control the people. It's as simple as that. When they tell you that, oh, uh, pray for your own miracle, don't focus on government, this, if you don't get job, they will say it's village people, they will say it's this, it's that. Meanwhile, it's the government that it's not giving good governance. The economy is contracting. A lot of companies are leaving Nigeria. I think, is it Equinox or something? One company just left Nigeria again that has been doing Nigeria business in Nigeria for decades. They've left because the situation, I mean, none of the other companies that you still see their names is the way they are, but they have sold their majority shareholding to Nigeria. I know some of those companies like that. They've turned hard, they've shared it, but even though they didn't leave per se, they are still there, but they are no longer, it's no longer the people who own them that own them now. So that's the thing that is happening. On the other hand, they will tell you that, oh, don't bother about what is happening in Nigeria or in the world. The world is not your final place. When you get to heaven, that's when you enjoy. So whatever you suffer here, you keep suffering it. So these are some of the problems that we've had, right? These are some of the issues that we have. So that religion is being used to keep people down. So when people want to come out, you find that they bring religion, they bring all sorts of things. People are not coming out. But really, Nigeria hasn't tried what it's supposed to do. For a either a protest or anything to be able to have the impact where it's actually changing governance, at least 1 to 2%. There's a critical mass of citizens that need to be part of that protest, and that's like 1 to 2%. Of the population. And we're talking about 1 to 2% of Nigeria population. We are talking about at least 1 to 2 million, maybe 2 to 4 million people being on the streets of Nigeria. Have you heard that 2 to 4 million people being on the streets of Nigeria? We haven't had that yet. So all of these things keep going. Then one of the things I will quickly say, please remember you can join. Just I think you're supposed there's a way you can join me and also be the one, so I'm not the only one speaking. One of the biggest things that we have is that because citizens make demands on other citizens, so citizens are stopgap for people where government has failed. So somebody can't pay their children's school fees. Instead of them to demand that government should give good quality education in primary and secondary school, public school, so that free good quality education, so that they don't have to pay anything and their children will be able to get good quality education, they would rather go to someone and go and ask the person to pay their children's school fees. And if you don't do that, you are seen as a bad person. So somebody is coming to you for money for this, money for that, money for those. And it's almost, if you don't help, it's almost as if, oh, you are a bad person. I just did a tweet a few hours ago. Sorry, I think some up to hours, maybe like some minutes ago. And I said, look, for me, let me look for that tweet and read the tweet out exactly as it is. I'm just looking at the whole things that I said, that was 25 minutes ago. I said, an impostor is spending your money with such audacity. They want to use 15 billion naira to build something for an illegitimate vice president. You understand? In this time and era when there's so much hardness, suffering in Nigeria, Nigerians are going through so much. People can't even buy drugs. Some people, some drugs that were 6,000 before are now 30 something thousand. Salaries did not increase. Money earning capacity did not increase. Yes, they are using your money, and people are sitting down with, what can I do now? There's nothing we can do. We pray. Okay, oh yeah. Why are you coming to me to ask for money? Pray now. Let's all be praying. Let's all be praying. Since we've all forgotten that prayers, faith without works is dead, and we've all forgotten that God will not do for us what He has given us the capacity for us to do for ourselves. So I said, an impostor is spending your money with such audacity, and it is me you want to break my back with your problems. No way I am allowing that to happen. You will go and meet Tinubu, who rigged his way into office to squander your destiny. Until people begin to make the demands that people make on people, on fellow citizens, on their people, whether it's a relation, whether it's a friend, whether it's someone out there, if people carry that demand and go and put it on the people who are in office, whether legitimately or illegitimately, then we'll begin to have that change. But this whole situation where people just sit down, oh, they just are praying, and then they will come and meet you and tell you that you are the one that will now have to carry their problem now. Or if we don't stop it, we're going to continue to have this people come into office and do whatever it is that they're going to do. In countries where Western countries that have developed and all of that, where who are you going to meet to come and tell them to pay your school fees? They don't have any citizen they are going to meet. Even parents, you find out that even relationships, they don't even make demands on each other. People are forced to go and meet government when there is issue or anything like that. You go to meet your government. And so these are some of the things that we definitely have to look into. And so yeah, so these are some of the things. So please kindly join. You can also join this conversation. Just hit the button and ask to be brought in, so that we bring you in and we will hear this from your side. Okay, let me copy this. I'm trying to put, so that we have this conversation also from your side. And it's also easier for me because as I'm speaking, it's really quite difficult for me to also be, how do I put it now? Let me do this. I don't understand what that is all about. Sorry a moment, please. Okay, so yeah, so you can join also and bring in. Let me try and see what the conversation so that aside speaking, okay, what else can so there's a lot of things. Honestly, there are a lot of things that citizens can do. Instead of saying the thing is that we've not even really done anything. We've not even scratched any surface. Nigerians haven't done anything really. But we keep saying, oh, we've done so much. What is it that really we've done? What is it? What is it in our small capacity that we've done? Yes, even if he's talking, keep talking. Even if it's there's social media, you understand? Today it's the era that we have now, and that's the beauty of social media. Everybody can speak, and the government will be forced to listen. Even if you do nothing, just go on your social media, whether it's your Twitter, your Facebook, or whatever. Talk about the things that you know are wrong. Just talk about them. Even that on its own, it's something. That on its own, as long as more people are talking about these issues, it is something. So even when people say, "Oh, you they can't be on the street," part of the things that people don't get is that protest is not always the first line of action. A lot of people think protest is the first line of action when they want to do something. Oh, let's go. Please, if you are here, kindly help us hit that like button. Go ahead and like. If you want to subscribe, also subscribe. So one of the things I do, I think I post like 5 videos that talk about Nigerian issues every day. So we have videos coming out. Do they call them videos? I don't even know. At 10 a.m., 12 a.m., 2 a.m., sorry, 12 a.m., 12 a.m., 12 p.m. rather, 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and then 6 p.m. I'm basically just trying to talk about the issue because one of the things you must not allow is silence. You must not get to a place where you're like, oh, I'm tired, I'm giving up on it. But talk. Even if it's tweet you want to tweet, post you want to post it on Facebook, whatever, do a video, show how disheartened you are about the situation. Show what you don't like about the situation. What is not acceptable is silence. Where you just say, okay, what can I do? Let me keep. That's what they need. Silence is complicit. In the face of injustice, when you're silent, it doesn't mean you take the side of the oppressor. So talk about it. Even if you can do talk about it, don't let that conversation keep going on. Wherever you see things that aren't right, talk about those things. Don't be afraid. And so let's keep up that whole conversation. You can do a video, you can put something out there. There are so many different ways, you know, of Amen. I pray so too. I bet one of the things I always say is that God will not do for us what He has given us the capacity for us to do for ourselves. So please, for those you can join, be a guest. That was why I decided to use this direct one. I'm not going through Zoom just to say people can join. Let me know if you can see that button that says you can join and how you can join. Otherwise, let me know if there's anyone. Let me see. Does it have any feature where you can invite someone? I've not really. Okay, it says add guest. Let me see if I can just. Okay. What does this? Okay. Add guest. That will be send an invite. I'm trying to learn this also. Hmm. So please, if you're here, just kindly join and let's have the conversation so that I'm not reading if you say this, that we citizens must conduct is a future impossible thing because the country is divided along ethnic and religious. Exactly. So if the country is divided along ethnic and religious, let this country suffer along ethnic and religious lines now. That's what I'm saying. Enjoy the suffering along ethnic and religious because one of the things I know for sure is that poverty doesn't know religion, poverty doesn't know tribe, poverty doesn't know any of those things. So yes, as so that division, Nigerians will get they will continue to suffer until they get to a place where they are suffering. It's more than whatever religious divide that they that they seem to think about. And you know, like I said earlier, uh, Ajodo. Okay, okay. So you said something here. Uh, if the only solution is for the citizens to unite, we better pack our bags and go because the divide will always then let the suffering continue. That's it. Let the people continue to suffer the suffering that will happen. For me personally, ah, I always say in the next few days I'm going to be 50 years. I think I have less than 2 weeks, inshallah, if God let me live to December 12th, I'm going to be 50 years. And any suffering, I've suffered before as a child. So if I suffer again as an adult towards me, I've done this thing. If Nigerians are ready for the suffering, let the suffering continue. And I'm not going to stop anybody from enjoying their suffering. But one of the things I've made up my mind that you will not carry your suffering to come and put on my head. You understand? And if people say, oh, they are divided on that religion, fine, let them continue to allow themselves to be divided because I don't see the people who are dealing with them being divided on religion. I don't see the people that have gone to Dubai with Chief Tinubu, the imposter. They are across gender, across religion, across everything. They are united with one thing, enjoying Nigerian money. And so if Nigerians feel that, oh, that they can never unite, well, they've not suffered enough. There's a kind of suffering that you suffer. You don't even know who the person next to you, whether the person is female or male, Muslim or Christian, young or old or wherever. You just know that this is a fellow sufferer and you carry it on and you just carry it on like that. And so that's the place. So people must get to that place. And one of the things that we keep doing, this where we enable people, and that comes from the fact that a lot of people, the reason why they don't feel that suffering is the fact that they can always say, oh, yes, I can't do this thing, I am sick, I can come on social media to come and beg for money. And then why will I make demands on government? I see a lot of people who come out and they say, oh, I never knew Nigeria would happen to me. And I'm thinking, so all the Nigerians that Nigeria has been happening to, you thought you were better than them. I'm always waiting for the next. I always say that I'm going to be the next victim. That's why when I kept saying that thing, when I say yesterday's victims were once survivors, today's victims were yesterday's survivors, and tomorrow's victims will be today's survivor. Who is next? I wasn't saying that to people. I was saying that to myself. Because honestly, for me, anytime something happens, I just feel that I will be the next person to happen to. So that's why I have what they call survivor's guilt. So I'm always, for example, now, and that's the reason why honestly I don't read newspaper. As of before, I refuse to read newspaper or anything. I'm just thinking, I would not say that, oh, government have killed so and so people. The first thing I'm thinking of, oh, that could have been me, that could have been my children, that could have been my husband, that could have been my family, blah, blah, blah. I'm just petrified. There are still a lot of people who don't care. And honestly, I I envy such people. I really envy them. They don't care. They just feel, oh, it can never happen to them. Yeah, I'm like, how do you think it can never happen to you? Do you think the people that pray, the people that it happen to that they don't pray, you think you know God more than them? You think you are closer to God more than them? And so that's why I always say yesterday's victims were once survivors. They too, they once thought it will never happen to them. They survived. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. When it happened to other people yesterday and they were victims, to the ones that survived, they thought, thank God it's not them, or thank God it will not happen to them. And then today they became victims. And I always leave it as that tomorrow's victims would be today's survivors. And what's that? Who is next? Because those of us today, we've survived today. Oh, somebody has been killed there, somebody has been kidnapped there, blah, 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 blah. Or none of our, or somebody had this, somebody had that. Like I think yesterday somebody on Twitter was saying, please, who has a car along Lugbe in Abuja that her brother couldn't breathe, he wasn't moving, and unfortunately he died. And that's somebody coming out. That's yesterday's victim. So who is we going to be tomorrow? That's in a country. Ordinarily in other countries, you don't come on social media to come and start. As you press a number, you're either calling 911, 999, or whatever it is, emergency number, and you come and carry you and take you to the hospital and give you, what the needed treatment you're supposed to have. Not like what we have here. You understand? You are begging people to, and help is not forthcoming. You're depending on citizens for that help, and it's not forthcoming. So these things. So when I see people who feel, oh, they are immune, I'm always like wondering. And even like before, honestly, when you see, oh, people need help, I'm like, oh yeah, you send this amount you have, it's 50,000, 100,000, whatever it is you can, you send an amount. And I go to a place and I'm thinking, what about those people in the villages who don't have social media, who don't know anybody? Who is going to talk for them? And that was when I remember talking, I said, no, we cannot crowdfund our way into good healthcare service. We must demand of it from government. We must demand of it. And we must let them know. Please kindly join. You can also join the conversation. Let's hear you talk. I'm trying to let me know if you can see the fact that you can join. Let me know. Or is it that I know I enabled it and I'm seeing here where it's saying waiting for guests, because as it is with the right thing, it's quite difficult for me to see the right thing, although I'm using another phone to be able to follow the conversation. Essie Embassy said, I pray that our eyes and ears be open to know what you're saying. But thank you, I pray so. Raymond, okay, Raymond said I should turn the option on. I thought I turned the option on. Oh. That's exactly why I did this. So maybe there's something that is happening that I didn't do. I'm not doing well. What's going on? Add guests. Ah, send in. What's this now? Okay, so there's something from my own end. I did do. I turned that option on. I remember turning because here it is say waiting for guests. I remember turning that. So that option. What do I do now? So when I was setting this whole thing up, I turned that option on. I think Raymond is saying that, oh my goodness. So I think it's not turning on, but this thing is saying to me, send invites to guests. So I don't even know what that means now. Oh no. Just give me a moment, please. Let me. Hello. So I think something is wrong from my own end. But when I was setting up the options, that's part of the things I set up, which was turn on the guests to join option. So I'm saying that people are saying that I need to turn it on, meaning they can't see it, right? I don't know. I'm gonna put out, let me see if I'm even able to put out this thing here. So I really, amen, oh, amen. Asia, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Because that was why I did this directly, because I wanted us to have this conversation. Let's be talking, let's hear ideas, share ideas. One of the things I always say that giving up can never be an option. You see this democracy, and I think that's one thing I need to talk about. This democracy that we have now, that is 24 years. Once upon a time, we thought we would never get democracy. There were people who said it's impossible. Nigeria can never get democracy. But there were people who stayed on and refused to give up. That's how we got the democracy. No matter how flawed this democracy is, people fought for it. People paid the ultimate price. Some people even had to die for this democracy. I'm pasting something here. It says something about joining. Please try and see. Raymond, try and see if you can, if that is something. So I don't know, because I see here where it says add guest, and then he gave me option of bringing in that this state. So please go ahead and see if that's something that can be used. Is that something that can be used to join? Because I'm really surprised. I thought I turned on that feature that said, you know, try let people be able to join. And so I'm really surprised that this is happening currently. I'm still trying to see if there's anything I can do to also go to this thing and enable it, but I don't think so. I'm not seeing that option here. Whether I need to go and look for my computer and use it, or do I leave and redo it again? I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I really don't know. Hello, Ojo. Good evening. Please, could anybody just try and see if they can use? Okay. So I don't know why I thought one that on your own this thing you can just directly join, because I thought that was what was happening before, but I don't know what's happening. But I've just dropped a link on the chat. This thing, I've just dropped a link. Please, you can join. You can press it and join the conversation. Raymond, please try that and see. Let's see if that works. Hopefully it does. I think it should, because I just tried it here. I saw it's giving an option where you can actually join. Please, let's do that and have the conversation that we're doing. One of the things also one of the things also that a lot of people have been talking about is that, oh, there's no need of doing anything. There's no need of going to the court. There's no need of this. One of the things that you must never allow is self-defeat. It's very terrible when you actually self-defeat yourself by just giving up. That's what it happens. Okay, it will never happen, fine. What I say to people, okay, fine, it won't happen. I'm already at the bottom. So if I try, worst thing that will happen is I'll be where I am. So what's the big deal? So let me try. At least let me try and say I failed rather than say I never tried. For me, one of the things, even in my own personal life, in everything that I do, I don't focus on the results. I focus on the effort. With the 2023 election, amazing things were done, because what Nigerians did by 2019, I never thought Nigerians could even do that. I thought in the next 10 years we will even get to that level, but people did. It happened. A revolution happened in 2023. Forget the fact that at the end of the day, this is what happened, and the election was rigged, and the judiciary, also messed up everything. Leave that aside. A revolution happened. Nigerians came out together across the country. Forget when they tell you across the country. Yes, some region had more people joining than others, but still, across the countries, Nigerians were united and they worked for the election. And it brought to the fact that these politicians don't have any strategy. They don't know any politics. They don't know, they are not smart, they are not whatever. Please kindly join. I've pinned this thing to join in. Please use that link to join the conversation here so you can speak also. I enabled it. I thought it was enabled, but it isn't. And also, please, while you're here, just help us what do they call it? Press the like button. So like this whole thing so that we're able to get it the reach it's on. So yeah, I turned the option on, but unfortunately I don't know what happened. It's really not going through. So please, if yes, I have one person. So there's Joshua or Waicho who wants to join. So fine. So at least something has worked somewhere. So I've added him on while we wait for him to join. Let's see. Let's see. Let's continue the conversation. Hello? Okay. 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 They say guest left. I think I'm hearing a child. So sometimes that's what happens. You see guests who come in. Please, if you're not ready to talk, don't come in. If you're ready to, please just let's have a conversation. Because sometimes that's one of the things also. People just like, okay, yeah, it's not just like a joke, it's really time, please. And then if it's just because of the child, no, like you can still speak, the child is there. So I think here, okay, so what we have is that, okay, to an extent, something is working. So I don't know what you used, whether he used the link, but I think there's a link there. You can actually use that to join the conversation. So please kindly go ahead and do that. And please, why are you not pressing the like button now? Those are you that are here. It's 1 second that is going to take you to do that. Why are you not doing that? Pico, do it. Just do it. Just Nike it. Anyway, so like what I was saying, this democracy that we have, people fought for it. It was almost impossible when Abacha was head of state. Hey, no, Nigerians were at the lowest of lows. It was almost as if it's impossible. Nothing. Nigerians were literally like slaves. So nothing. But somehow things happened. This is where we are today. And that's the reason why when Abdul Salam was saying that he was going to hand over, people didn't believe. And unfortunately for us, most of the people who fought for democracy did not participate in the 1999 election. They probably, because a lot of time they would tell the people will participate, they will cancel the election, they will remove the result and all of that. So most of them thought it wasn't going to happen. I remember nature abhors vacuum. If you don't participate, other people will participate. If you say you're not going to do anything about Nigeria, those that will destroy Nigeria will participate in the Nigerian issue and they will destroy. And every one of us, we face the consequences of that destruction. And so what now happened was that some people now came in, criminals, a lot of criminals. There were people who were drug barons, ex-convicts, a lot of all 419ers, they got into office. By 2003, when these other people wanted, they couldn't take them out. They had put themselves in, as most of them brought in a lot of the violence that we have today in our country because they armed supporters with guns and able to cause all sorts of mayhem across the nation. And when you arm people with guns, it's never easy getting all those guns back together. And they do all sorts of things. And here we are today facing the consequences of all of that. So when people say, oh, you give up, others don't give up, you give up on the side of fighting for a country to work better. Others that are fighting to worsen the country are not going to give up and they continue to do. And one of the things I've been saying over the last few months is that good must be more tenacious than evil. If those who want to destroy don't give up, those who want to repair or those who want to do good can never think about giving up. It's just to keep going, no matter how you think it will not happen. Definitely, it will happen when it will happen. And so, yeah, so th- these are the conversations that we're having right now. Please kindly join. There's a link that is there. Kindly put on that job. Someone said, I'll be thinking of you and your husband. Your dates are very important. Oh, thank you so much. God bless you. I know that's something that, I really don't take for granted. I meet a lot of Nigerians who pray for me. I meet a lot of Nigerians and across religious divide, Muslims, Christians, who pray for me, who tell me what do they call this? A PowerPoint. They put me as a power. There's prayer points, and all of that. They pray for me, their families, when people have their devotions. And honestly, I really don't take it for granted. But there's so many people who are always like afraid for me, what can happen so that I'm not harmed and all this. And I really do appreciate it. I thank everyone so much. And I really don't take it for granted. On my 40th birthday, which was in 2013, so in the next, like I said earlier, the next days, coming days, is going to be 10 years that I was 40. Sitting down on my own and thinking about my life, I realized that I was, I used to be that child that hated Nigeria because of the corruption that was happening, because of the bad governance, because of the suffering. My family and we suffered a lot, and I felt, why are the people who are leading us, who are governing us, why are they destroying the nation so much? I was a child. I was almost like an adult as a child. As a teenager, honestly, I was like an adult. The kind I started reading all these motivational books, psychology, whatever, right from like when I was like 9, 10. So I did a lot of, reading religious books. I mean, that was when as a teenager, I was questioning life. Does God exist? This, that, reading the Hadith, reading different books, just trying to find what is that essence of life. So it's almost as if I grew backwards. And so on my 40th birthday, I realized that I also had become the problem of Nigeria by my silence because I was just so focused on getting my financial independence, which I don't joke with. It's something and which I thank God for every day. I have the capacity. I'm not looking for anything from anybody. And that's one of the things. It's almost as if I am an enigma. I say something like, who the hell is this woman? Who does she think she is? I've never worked for government. I have no interest for working for government. I've never done any government contract. I have no interest of doing government contract. I'm a trader. I'm a market woman. I've been doing business. I've never worked for anybody. And I don't go to ask anybody for favors or some people will come to me, hey, can you win? I have CV, I have this job, they are doing. I say, look, I know they ask person for anything. That's why I have a big mouth. I don't want a situation whereby tomorrow somebody will be doing anyhow, I won't be able to ask. So on that my 40th birthday, so I realized that by keeping quiet, by not talking about Nigeria issue, by just facing my own problem, that I had become the problem of Nigeria. And so on that day, between myself and my God, nobody was there. And I said to myself, if God gives me another 40 years, that and I don't even know why I chose 40, another 40 years, I was going to devote it to Nigerian matter. And it's just, we've not even reached 10 years yet. We're just about to enter the first 10 years. So I have 30 more years if God gives me, keeps me to be alive on that. But anyway, the conversation today really is about super. I wanted us to have a more conversation we can have. So please, if you can join, kindly do join through the link that I put in. Is the link that is pinned so that we can have a conversation. I don't know why it's not enabling where people can just directly join in. That was what I thought I did, but unfortunately, that's not what is happening right now. So otherwise, in the next few minutes, we'll have to round up the conversation because it's almost like a monotone, and monotones are not always the best. Having a conversation together is what really works. And so I'm trying to say I'm not seeing questions here. So that's okay. So somebody said, "Good evening, Aisha. I would like to know your political ideological stance, capitalism, or socialism, or something in between." For me, when you talk about all of this ideology, whether capitalism, socialism, for me, my stance is this: good governance, accountability, transparency. You understand? So yes, socialism, how has that worked for anybody? The countries that have, practiced that, how has that worked for them? There's no one country that is there anyone, even China and co, they've left that whole socialism thing and have gone into like a hybrid. There's no one capitalistic country where you say, oh, everything is this, or like, for example, you look at the US, it's still not fully. There's a measure of it, just depends on which one it's more. In my own case, it's to say I believe in capitalism more than I do in socialism. And I don't believe in all the way capitalism. Of course, it's not even possible. There are certain things that you do not leave and say, oh, it's in the hand of business people. I believe in government has no business in a lot of businesses other than the businesses that has to do with the securing of lives and properties and the welfare of the people. So I'll give you an example. When it comes to issue of good quality education, primary and secondary, I believe it's government's business to provide that for the people. Good quality, free primary and secondary education. Nigerian government should focus on that because if you have educated people, you've solved half of your problem already. The primary and secondary education is for the good of the nation, it's not for the good of the individual. Because we don't need you to be uneducated. An uneducated citizen is a danger to the citizen, to the society. An uneducated citizen. Tertiary education, it's more useful to the individual than it is to the country. It's about specialization. You now want to specialize on certain skills. You want to be a doctor, you want to be an accountant, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be this. Yes, there are many things you can do even without a university degree if you're well educated, right? So those kind of things, I don't believe it should be on the part of let it be uh, like a capitalist venture. Leave it in the hands of private individuals to provide, which is what we have in Nigeria today. And the reason why I say that the greatest injustice in Nigeria today is that access to good quality education is dependent on the economic status of man's family. So that's one. Things like good quality water, roads, and all of that, these are things that government is supposed to provide. So yeah, there are certain things where government, public owned institutions, corporations are there to be able to provide for the welfare of the people. Because, for example, now water in Nigeria, most times it's people that provide their own water. So it becomes something that if you don't have the money, you can't have water. These are things that government should take on. Are businesses, the capitalist model, should businesses be allowed to have their to provide goods and services, to be able to make their money, to be able to make their profit? Absolutely, I believe in that. But then also there has to be caution and control so that they do not go on and exploit the people. So when you now say, oh, it's all a capitalist model, so there's no one model that fully capitalist, fully, it's more of each of them. But I believe more in the capitalist model than I do in the socialist model. But there has to be a blend of both of them for things to work. I have someone who is trying to join. Hopefully, he's able to, and and that was so that's the thing for me. So really, for now, like in Nigeria, the most important thing, we have a capitalist model and a more of a capitalist and a socialist model. I don't believe people should just sit down. Uh, how do I put it? Oh, leave off the state. Everybody should be being paid by state, and all of that. You don't put in the work. It actually kills creativity and innovation, and people really don't grow in that. So, but what we have in Nigeria today is that we don't have good governance. We don't have accountability. We don't have transparency. It's as simple as that. Even some of the things that people call good governance, they are just the minimum, the minimum, the barest minimum. Sometimes people don't even scratch barest minimum. They are being hailed as the best thing after jollof rice. Government is supposed to provide a lot of things. And one of the things, and I think I'm just going to talk about this quickly now, is that people, I see a lot of people who say, oh, why are you dabbling in politics? Why are you doing politics? Why did you support a candidate? Why are you supporting this and that? Are you not supposed to be an activist? First of all, I don't see myself as an activist. I see myself as an active citizen. But the thing is this: politics and activism or advocacy are supposed to be the same. The end goal are supposed to be the same. It's supposed to be for the greater good of the society. If politics is not bringing, if the end game of politics is not bringing greater good for the society, then that's a wrong politics. And that's what we've been having in Nigeria. Because sort of a lot of Nigerians are used to politics of selfish interest, where people get in there and focus on enriching themselves. So they just assume that politics is that. No, politics and activism are supposed to be like siblings. You understand? It is the method that differs. Why those in advocacy are like, going ahead to look for, to tell you what are the things that need to be done. These are the problems. These are the things that needs to be done to be solved. Those in politics are supposed to be solving those problems. Do you get? So they are the same thing. So when people are like, "Oh, you're supposed to be an activist," you can't be. Are you okay? Where did that come from? Oh, so I should be so some people should be sitting down making the match for you while some people are destroying your this. No, it doesn't work that way. Anybody that is not going into politics for the greater good shouldn't be in politics. We shouldn't be, because we are so used, and that's what they call conditioning, because we've been conditioned to believe that, oh, politics, people who go into politics are supposed to enrich themselves, enrich their families, and all of that. That's why you see somebody will say, oh, even if somebody is wrong, but as long as they are from their tribe, they will vote for that person because they feel that maybe they'll be able to get contract, or somebody close to them will get contract or get an appointment or one thing or the other. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. Politics is actually supposed to be for the greater good. Let me just try and see. Somebody just made me laugh now. He said that Aisha, fine woman, no maker. You sure not pay no girl, you know where. You know well at all. Yeah, I don't know. Some people actually, some people feel that, oh, I've met people like, angry, why don't you use makeup? Blah, blah, blah. I don't use makeup. And then some people, I've seen a lot of people who meet me in real life. They're like, you look different though. You're fine. Oh. I'm like, because they see me on TV, or maybe like they see me in some pictures, I'm looking so, And like when I'm all angry, I know they fine. First they vex, my jam, and then they vex. I'm supposed to be like, oh. Oh, no, I'm supposed to be angry. I know I'm angry. You're going to see that I'm angry. Thank you for bringing that lighter mood. We have like 6 minutes to go. Please, if you can, do join. The last person that I added on, it didn't come on. I don't know what happened, whether it's my phone that this thing did not activate the way it should. I don't know why that is. But if you check the link, I put in the link. It's also pinned. You can use that to join because I actually went and I put, so I don't know if you can see, I'm looking at my phone here. I actually went and I put that. So there's a link there that I have. So when I pressed it, so this is what it gives me. So it says I can also, sort of like join. So you can also do that to join. So please kindly tap on that link and let's have this yes, I don't, so Ajodo, you can join. Look at, let me look at my this thing, pinned chart, right? Look at my pinned chart. Click on it, you can join this conversation, please. I don't know, that's why I'm doing this conversation, because I'm tired of talking alone. I didn't want to talk alone. That's why I didn't even do the, I said, let me not use the, what do you call it now? Let me not use the what do you call this thing? Zoom. Let me just come here directly so people can join. And unfortunately, here we are. There are people who have tried to join. So Ajodo Onuchi, I hope I got your name right. I've put in the link again. The link I just put in now, click on it, the one after your comments. Please click on it. And for those who are here, please kindly click on the like button. Why? All of you here, just click on the like button. So that is it. So we're supposed to have a conversation on the Supreme Court, which was supposed to be like not just one person conversation, but we really haven't had that because people couldn't join. But I'll try to see what the problem is. When it comes to technology, I'm not that good at it, but I try, I learn, I work every day towards getting it done. So that's what I'm always doing. So please, if you find better work next time, I'll try and see what the problem is. But as we round up, if I get people who join, fine. If we don't, in the next 2 minutes, rather 2 minutes 30 seconds, we'll be rounding up this conversation. Is to say to everyone that look, Nigeria is our country, and we don't have any other country. Even if you japa, even if you have another passport, Nigeria is still your home country. And a Nigeria that works for everyone is a Nigeria that is better for everyone. I always say this and I will repeat this. I don't want to help anybody. I want people to not need my help. I want people to be at the place where I am, to be able to enjoy the things I enjoy. Many Nigerians don't want exorbitant things. They don't want Birkin bags. They don't want Louis Vuitton bags. They don't want to travel, but they just want to have decent life. They just want to have basic infrastructure. They just want to have decent houses. They just want to have good roads they can travel on. They just want to have food security. They just want to have affordable food they can buy. They want to have good quality education for their children, just the basic things. And they want to have peace, harmony, so that they can do their parties, their own bed, and have fun. Nigerians are naturally happy people. And that's why even up to today, in spite of all the difficulties we go through, we still have time to laugh, to make fun, and to just be there for each other. We're not as divided as we think we are. But there are people who have profited from this our divide. They're the ones who constantly put the divide that we have because it favors them. They're able to use it to get certain things, whether politically, religiously, or whatever. So let's not continue to focus on those people. Let's look at those things that unite us. I always say to Nigerians, why do we focus on the things that we think separate us? Religion. So, religion is personal. But I'm a Muslim, it's personal. Others should be who they want to be. And that's why the state must protect everybody's religion. Some people are being prosecuted in certain places because they are Christians. Some are being prosecuted in certain places because they are Muslims. Some are being prosecuted in certain places because they are traditional worshippers. Everybody should be allowed to worship what they want to worship, how they want to worship it. It is not in our business to play God. In Islam, they say kun fayakun in the Quran, kun fayakun. God can say be and it becomes. If God wanted all of us to be Muslims, He would have made every one of us Muslims. If God wanted us all of us to be Christians, He would have made all of us to be Christians. If He didn't want us to have religion, He would have made all of us want to have religion. So why would people want to play God? Most times, people fight for God and leave their fight to God. Why don't you allow God be and do your own thing? God has the power to do and undo. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He says be and it becomes. Yet, the things that God has given us capacity for us to do for ourselves, we refuse to do them. And then we're always calling on God to do those things for us. Life doesn't work that way. If we look around Nigeria, we are united by more things that divide us. We are united by the poverty that is all over Nigeria. There's no part of Nigeria that you go to that you don't see stark poverty. There's no part of Nigeria that you go to that you don't see unemployment. There's no part of Nigeria that you go to that you don't see women dying out of childbirth, or you don't see children dying, children below 5 years. Infant mortality, maternal mortality, they are all over Nigeria. People leave their school, finish, graduates, finish school, they don't have jobs. People are facing insecurity. People are being killed left, right, and center. What is the worth of the Nigerian life? North, east, south, west. We are all suffering. We are all being kidnapped. We are being killed. We are being oppressed. We are going through so much. Why then do we focus on the things that divide us when we have so much that unite us? All across Nigeria, bad roads are killing people. People are traveling on the roads and they are having accidents because of roads that are bad. Some of this road, contracts have been paid for them to be done, but some people have eaten them. There is corruption all over Nigeria. Monies that are meant to buy drugs in hospitals are being used by certain individuals, and because of that, a lot of people die. And then they say, oh, it is their time. Why is it that it is only the time of the poor man that happens? We saw what happened during NSAS protest. It's not, sorry, not NSAS protest. We saw what happened during COVID-19 lockdown when the rich could not travel abroad for medical treatment. What happened? The rich also started dying. So it is not because the poor don't know how to pray or the poor are not close to God. That's why the poor are dying more. It's because the rich have access to good quality healthcare services abroad and in Nigeria. Why can't we have the same for everybody? So the next time you're thinking about those things that separate us, why don't we focus on the things that unite us? Solve those problems that unite us. When we are done solving the Nigerian problems that unite us, then we can sit down and say to ourselves, oh, you are this religion, I'm that religion. You are this tribe, I'm that tribe. And by the way, what makes you think you are the tribe that you are? What if your parents were to call you today and say that you were adopted and that you are actually the tribe? You're actually from the tribe that you probably hate. What will you do? So the next time you want to hate somebody because they are from a different tribe, ask yourself, are you really from your tribe? Because if it was not your parents that told you that you are your tribe, you wouldn't have known you are your tribe. So why are you hating another person? Thank you so much for joining me today. And hopefully next week we have a conversation and we're able to bring guests in. I'll work it and see where I made the mistake and correct it. And thank you. And if you've not liked this video, this live, this thing, please, you still have a few seconds to just press the like button. Just do it. Thank you so much. And bye bye. And by the way, giving up will never be an option by the grace of God. We die here. Nigeria is our country, and no Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. Thank you, and bye bye.